Hey gods and goddesses, on August 9th, we have a full moon in Aquarius happening at the 16th degree. So Aquarius is ruled by Uranus and also traditionally ruled by Saturn. And then we have Pluto in Aquarius at its very earlier degree. So all of these planets or energies are interacting with each other and they are powerful. And they are powerful in any way, and it definitely takes you for a ride. So expect these sudden and shocking revelations, these ego breakdowns, these sudden shifts that have to do with your higher mind, even your consciousness. Expect to feel lightning bulbs when it comes to your own psyche. You cannot pretend anymore, and you can't keep people pleasing. You can't keep shrinking yourself. You can't keep portraying your vision, your future for someone else's comfort. Aquarius demands that we detach from illusions, we detach from outdated systems, we detach from group dynamics that have tried to mute our voice or kept us in cages and boxes. Something is definitely going to crumble under this full moon. It could be a relationship, it could be a fantasy, it can be a mask that you have worn in order to feel like you belong. But it is not your life that's crumbling. It is not your life that's being destroyed. It is this cage around your truest self, or this box that has been held around your truest self. It's finally time for you to be set free, and you really have to ask yourself. And this moon is really forcing you to choose between being liked or being free. So expect these breakdowns in communication. You can expect emotional detachment, emotional distance, even making sudden decisions, or you could have breakthroughs that really feel like you're being shocked by, as I said, like these electrical bolts, but really you're like quantum jumping into your psyche and what you're actually wanting, and you're seeing things for what it is. You become this inner rebel because Aquarius doesn't destroy, like, well, Pluto definitely destroys, right? But Aquarius doesn't destroy. It clears out space for the future, for the long-term vision, for longevity. It is about aligning yourself to tribes, aligning yourself to your authentic self, where you don't have to fake, and you don't have to you don't have to put on masks in order to be like. You can attract what's yours through alignment, through being truthful. You become the truth teller, and the vision is ready to break out of you. The vision is ready to be set free, and you have to let it out because it's time to stop editing your essence in order to be accepted and liked in this world. That isn't what we're meant to do. And just ask yourself, like, and not even ask yourself, but continuously tell yourself that freedom is the price of truth, or truth is the price of freedom. And you have to also ask yourself, what chains are you willing to break? What stories are you willing to rewrite, or are you ready to rewrite? The answer is definitely going to push you towards these profound awakenings, and you're going to feel definitely like cracked open. You're going to feel like you're being taken out of your comfort zone and into your rawest form. But this is inviting you to be as raw and have this unfiltered power when it comes to your standing alone, whether you need to, but when it comes to your beliefs, your connections, even like your identity in some type of way. Because you can no longer serve anything but your highest truth. And I'm going to go over each rising sign and tell you how you will be affected. And yeah, let's get started. We're going to start with Aries. Hey Aries. So Aries, this activation is going to be happening in your 11th house of soul, friendships, groups, dynamics, future vision, the long-term goals that you have. And you're going to realize that not everyone is going where you're growing, and you may experience some type of grief, some type of letting go. And the people that you've been clinging on to for comfort are actually starting to look like cages. There's a vision of the future that you're breaking through. There is some type of radical change. There's some type of honesty that you're trying to put into this world. So you must be your unauthentic and you must be unapologetic. Aries, I know it's going to be difficult for you, but you have to trust it, because not everyone deserves access to this new version of you. Hey Taurus. So Taurus, this activation is going to be happening in your 10th house of your life path, your authority in this world, your legacy, your public image, and this is a public reckoning with purpose. I feel as though you're going to feel as though you need to burn everything down because you're no longer willing to stay in spaces, places that no longer match who you are, like, or who you have been. It can feel like you're living someone else's dream even, and this full moon is really gonna force you to face that, and the world needs your truth, and you're going to start realizing that you no longer need to perform for the world. You need to be truthful with the world, and that's where your life path, and that's where you're actually headed to being your most courageous and most authentic wildest self. Hey Gemini. So Gemini, this full moon is happening in your natal ninth house of your belief system, your higher self. This is your truth, really. This is your higher self, travel. The ninth house is a house of faith and things of that nature. So you are questioning everything, your own life experiences, your truth, what you believe in, your belief systems, your identity. You're even, questioning because something that you have given your life to, or given your all to, or you once gave your life just so much meaning, Gemini, it's now starting to feel like a cage. It feels hollow. It feels stagnant. This is definitely a spiritual awakening for you, Gemini, and it can come through the lines of grief, through the lines of sadness, letting go, because it's like you're letting this old song go that has been replaying and replaying for so long. There's a new truth or something trying to be birthed through you. So let that happen and let that find its way through you. Yellow, Cancer. Cancer, this is happening in your natal eighth house. And this activation, it really activates the shadow, the intimacy, the power. It can activate these power plays as well. And the full moon is exposing your deepest fears of loss, of abandonment, of emotional exposure, of emotional pressure. And it feels very raw. You feel very triggered. You can feel betrayed in some type of way, but this is a soul purge in the eighth house, because what power have you have to ask yourself, what power have you handed away, especially to others emotionally? It's time for you to reclaim that power, and it's time for you to set every it's fire. It's like it's time for you to set fire, or time for you to set boundaries, yes, but set fire to the shame, and through the manipulation that has kept you small. But most importantly, the shame and the grief, it's time for you to set fire to it. Let it go, let it free you, and let yourself emerge as a more authentic self. What's up, Leo? Leo, this full moon is going to activate your natal seventh house of partnerships, connection, contracts, emotional contracts as well. And these old agreements are just dissolving, they're dying. People may leave you, you may want to leave someone else, or you may feel done with being the one who is giving more than you actually receive. Your heart wants real intimacy, Leo, and not just a title, not just marriage, not just boyfriend, girlfriend. You no longer want a performance. If the mirror of your relationship doesn't reflect your truest self anymore, you can feel like you want to scream, or like your soul is screaming out to you for you to move on, for you to see it for what it is, for you to detach. Hey Virgo, this activation is happening in your natal sixth house of energetic boundaries, of the body, work, day to day tasks, and you're being asked to stop sacrificing in the name of being needed. If your body feels drained, if you feel resentful, if you feel broken, you have to listen to your body. Your nervous system, this is a house of the nervous system, and it's telling you that something your ego is refusing to hear, but you must hear. This is the start of a true calling and true healing, Virgo. And only if you choose liberation over duty will it start to actually manifest. Hey Libra. Libra, this activation is happening in your natal fifth house of creativity, the inner child, entertainment, romance. And this full moon is activating your wild and authentic self. This is the inner child that comes to roar. It comes forward to roar with grief, for being silenced, or for being judged, for its joy. It's trying to remember its joy, Libra, and what you have denied yourself in the name of being liked and the name of being loved, even. It's time for you to reclaim your voice. It's time for you to reclaim your pleasure, your play, your joy, your passions. They are your own, Libra. Hey, Scorpio. Scorpio, this activation is lighting up your fourth house of roots, ancestry, inner safety, and family and the mother. You are being cracked open. And this is from inside out, right? This is the house of the moon, Scorpio. And this is going to trigger some ancestral wounds. It's going to trigger some trauma wounds, emotional memories, things that take you for a loop when you're thinking about them, and these family dynamics are never really fully healed. But this is also your liberation, Scorpio, because you're not here to repeat the same patterns as your lineage. You are here to break them, and you will. Hey, Sagittarius. Sagittarius, your third house is being activated of communication, the mind, mental forms. Your words carry weight and they're finally ready to be unleashed. And you have to feel like you will feel like you can't fake it anymore, but you have to feel at peace with sharing what you need to share. And there's no more just saying yes to anyone when you actually mean no. This is the moment when you start to speak your truth, even if your voice is shaking. There's a major mental breakthrough that is definitely going to come through, but only if you're willing to be honest and to get honest with the things that you actually want to say, where your mind is actually wandering. Hey, Capricorn. Capricorn, this is activating your second house of worth, of money, of securities. And the full moon is definitely going to get you to confront your survival fears. You are clinging to, like, these survival fears have you clinging to, jobs and people and roles and beliefs that you it's having you cling to lack. And you need to honor yourself and you need to honor your worth, and it's making you not honor your worth, and you're not here to prove your value through being productive. You are here to rewrite your story of security from inside out. Hey, Aquarius. So this is your full moon and it's happening in your house of evolution, the first house, the house of the body, and this is a house of being reincarnated. And this is really your rebirth. You are born to rise. You are here to take off the mask. You have to shed that mask that you're wearing, Aquarius. And you have been living under expectations that no longer fit, and your soul is screaming for freedom. This full moon is going to strip you bare so that you can remember who you are and what you came here for. You're not your past, you're not your pain, you're not your performance, you're not even your body. You are something truer, you are something wilder, you are something freer, and you have to embody that. And of course, your consciousness is put inside of a body. You must take care of it, but you have to get back to yourself and you have to get back to your truth and your inner rebel. Hey, Pisces. Pisces, the 12th house is being activated for you, and this is the house of your subconscious. This is a house of endings. It's the house of the past, and your dreams can be very intense. Your emotions can feel so big that you actually can't contain them. The moon in the 12th house actually pulls you towards the unseen, the forgotten, the spirit realm, and you are ready, or even if you're not ready, Pisces, you have to close these timelines of patterns that bring you grief, sorrow, silence, sadness. And you can rest a lot, you can cry. Even you have to listen to what you're learning from the dream world, what you're learning from the unseen, what you have forgotten, because this is the end of the beginning and you must surrender.